What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Trapfish Aquatics. Today I'm going to be doing a fish room tour of all 30 of my aquariums. I know you guys have been asking a lot to see all my tanks and see everything that's going on here in the fish room, as well as the rest of my house, because, you know, who's kidding who? I don't just have tanks in here. So, you know, a lot of you guys wanted to see them, so that's what we're going to do a video on today. But before we get into the video, I want you guys to go ahead and drop a like on the video. It really helps me out. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because according to YouTube, 98% of you guys aren't subscribed. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell, turn on post notifications so that you guys get alerted when I post content. You know, it helps me a lot, and I'm sure you guys want to see more of my stuff. So, without further ado, let's jump into the video. We're going to start right here in the fish room. So I know a lot of you guys haven't actually seen my fish room, so I'm going to give you guys a look of what it looks like walking into the room right now and give you a 360 look to what all is in here. So I've got 18 tanks in here right now with a whole bunch of different kinds of fish, and we are going to start right here. So this is a 20-gallon high. As you'll notice, a lot of my tanks are planted aquariums. I run a lot of sponge filtration just because sponge filtration is awesome. And this here is a 4-month-old set of fry from my crebensis cichlids. As you can see, hopefully, they are starting to show some of their colors. And these guys are just about ready to go to new homes. So I'm pretty excited about that. Down here, another 20-gallon high. This is a pair of Apistogramma hongsloi. Now, these guys do tend to hide a lot, but there's the male back there. If I can get the camera to focus on him. There he is. The male's right there, and he just chased the female down behind that Amazon sword, so I don't know if we're going to be able to see her or not. Probably not, but I will post a picture up so you guys can see what they look like. Up here we got a 55-gallon. This is a guppy tank. And I know a lot of people love this tank because this ball of Java moss is absolutely enormous. It's almost, well, it's definitely 2 feet long because it goes from the edge of the glass to well past half the aquarium. So it's over 2 feet long. It is 12 inches front to back, and it's probably about 18 inches tall. So there's a huge ball of Java moss. We do have one koi angel in here and all of my guppies. And I can guarantee you there are probably 2 to 3 times as many guppies hiding in that ball of Java moss. As you can see right here, they do hide in it quite often. Down here, I have a 55-gallon tank full of crebensis cichlids. This is another spawn from the parents. The parents are actually under that stump right now because they did have another spawn of fry. But I will post pictures of them up here so you guys can see what they look like. But these guys are growing out pretty well. These guys are about 2.5 months old. Up here we do have one of my favorite fish. This is my female red devil. If you guys don't know about red devils, or if you do know about red devils, she may not look like a traditional red devil to you. That's because she is probably a hybrid between a Midas cichlid and a red devil, also known as a mi-devil or a medieval. She's about 12 inches, and she is awesome because she is just like a puppy. She'll follow you around, she'll eat out of my hand. Awesome fish to have if you guys are considering a red devil or a Midas cichlid. Highly recommend it. And she is in a 75-gallon long. Down here we have a 150-gallon native aquarium. So these fish are native to the state I live in, which is Pennsylvania. Minus the plecos, because they are not native to the United States. We do have one bluegill, and they call them bluegills because of the blue gills. Imagine that. We have a 10-inch golden shiner, which if you know anything about golden shiners, 10 inches is absolutely enormous. He's doing well, but because of his size, he does tend to bump into things quite a bit, which is why his front lip is torn up a little bit. But we can fix him up no problem. And then we also have 4 pumpkin seeds, which you can see their colors right here. They're very cool. There you go. And a couple of them are actually spawning, which is what this pit is right here. So I'm excited to see if these guys will spawn out and give us baby sunfish. And if you're wondering about the plecos, there are 2 of them. They are down here. There's one, and the second one is right there. Both of them are high fin spotted plecos. They're about 12 inches long, and I'll post a picture here so you guys can see them. And if you are wondering about the bobber, I think it looks cool because it is a native tank. So I wanted to incorporate things you might find in nature, which humans interact with nature all the time, and we unfortunately leave things behind. So the bobber snagged on driftwood, as well as the empty beer bottles. I think they add a very nice touch to a native tank. Okay, up here we have a 29-gallon pea puffer. There are currently 7 pea puffers in here, but usually about half of them are hiding. I do have a ball of Java moss back there, and that's usually where they spend most of their time if they're not out hunting snails and different things like that. But these guys are super cool. They work great in a you can get them in a community tank sometimes. You can see his yellow fins are really showing. Super cool fish. Very inquisitive with their environment. And I really do love these guys. Next to that, we have a 20-gallon high with a pair of convict cichlids. Now, if you know anything about convict cichlids, these guys are like the rabbits of the fish industry. These guys are prolific breeders, and that's basically all they do. We do have some babies in here. And something else is, if you put convict cichlids in a tank by themselves, they'll get really long streamers on their tails like that right there. So that's not something that you see every day with convict cichlids. And I don't know if I can get an image of the female back there, but she is in breeding colors. I don't think so, because he's going to block her. But you can see he's getting some greens and yellows in his fins. And she is all orange. You can probably see it on her side there. Her fins are also yellow and blue. So she's in breeding colors. I'll post a picture here so you guys can see that, because he's not going to let me see her. Down below that, we have a 55-gallon. We have a mated pair of koi angels. We also have a mated pair of bristlenose plecos, both of which constantly lay eggs and breed in here. There's the female. And the male usually spends most of his time, yep, there he is, on that piece of driftwood. Angels are pretty nice. These guys have been showing spawning activity, so the tail is a little ripped up on her, but we can heal that up pretty easily. We have a 6-pack of pearl danios. Those guys are super cool if you're looking for a fish to swim around the top of your aquarium and be quite active. Very cool fish. We have a bunch of serpe tetras. There are 6 of them in here, but I'm only seeing 4 right now. The other 2 are probably hiding. But we also have 1 neon tetra, 1 scissortail, and 1 rummy nose tetra. They were all rescues and added to this tank. So that's why they are by themselves. We will be increasing those numbers in the future. And I don't know if we'll be able to see any right now, but there are probably 50 baby bristlenose hiding in amongst all these Amazon swords, in the caves, there and there, under the driftwood. They're all over in here, but they hide very well because the angels like to pick on them. But that's that tank. So we'll come over here. This is a rack of 5.5 gallons. This was specifically just a rack of quarantine tanks, but right now I only have 2 tanks. These ones right here set up as quarantine. That one I'm going to set up as a plant grow out tank using a Wallstad method, so that's why there's nothing really going on there. Up here I do have one betta, and this guy is really cool, has some really nice colors, red, white, and blue, as well as some purples. I did have a little bit of issue with these plants. Had some rhizome rot on those, and the guppy grass that I had in there either doesn't like that light or is not a fan of my water. So I figured I would try it in here first before trying anywhere else and making a mess. But he loves to play in it, so I let him have at it. Down here we got a quarantine tank. These 2 goldfish are new to me. These are my wife's fish, and they're in quarantine. She loves her moors. She wants one of every kind in a tank back in her office. So that's why we have him. And this little guy right here, this little Ranchu, is having a little bit of bloat problems, so he's in here getting treated with some medications to try to help him out. This tank down here has 1 neon tetra. He started getting a little bit of white fungus on him, which we are not going to be able to see because of the lighting. Holy cow. He started getting a little bit of fungus on him, so he got moved in here, and he is getting treated by himself to see if we can remedy that. I apologize for how dirty this is, but this is a quarantine tank, and it does serve its purpose. It's not meant to be beautiful. You'll notice this tank does not have a light on it, and that is because I have axolotls in here. They are cold water species. And I actually have 3 axolotls. This is 2 of them. I'm growing them out in here to get them a little larger before introducing them to the main tank with my other axolotl. Actually, it's my wife's. She yells at me every time I say that. But I do not have a light on this tank. Actually, I do, but it's off, because these guys' eyes are sensitive to light, and there's not a lot of hiding spaces in here, so I try to keep it off as much as possible. This here is a 15-gallon planted tank. This does have shrimp, snails, and glow light tetras. There are 5 of them in there. They leave everybody alone, and everybody is quite happy. Got a bunch of snails down here. Don't know if we'll be able to see any shrimp right off the bat. They usually hide pretty well. But I might have a video or a clip or a picture that I can post here so you guys can see. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. But there are quite a few shrimp in here that are buried up pretty nice. So we'll be waiting for those guys to hatch out and get some more shrimp going. Down here is a 20-gallon paludarium that I built. If you guys want to see a video on that, I will leave a link up in the top corner. There is a little bit of moisture and algae built up on the glass here, but with the 2 waterfalls that are flowing back here, that tends to happen, especially on this side. But if you aren't familiar, this tank does not have any kind of mechanical filtration on it. It has no filter whatsoever except for the nitrogen cycle. It does have white cloud mountain minnows, but they like to hide back inside of this stonework. They do have access to that water, so they like to hide back there. This tank right here, I do have another red devil. This is a male, and he is a big scaredy cat. He likes to hide in his stones. I've been working with him, trying to get him to come out more, but he also is just like a dog. He will follow you around. Absolutely love these guys. Amazing fish. So if you're looking for a solo fish in a tank, 55 gallons or larger, that would be my choice, red devil or Midas. Awesome, awesome fish. This tank down here, this is a 55 gallon as well, and this is kind of like a show tank. This tank came out really nice. This is a barb community, so I know a lot of people don't do these. In here we have tiger barbs, golden barbs, cherry barbs, black ruby barbs. Pretty sure I'm forgetting another kind of barb. No, I think that covers it. There's also zebra danios, Buenos Aires tetras. There's some plecos in here, some corridoras, ram's horn snails, a whole bunch of stuff. And I love this tank. It always looks awesome. Plus it's got that backlit background on there. Really makes it pop and stand out. Everybody schools around together real nice. Cherry barbs hang up in those branches. I love coming in here and just watching this tank, man. It's just awesome. So up next, let's go check out some goldfish. Alright, so this here is my 125 gallon goldfish aquarium. It is scaped out with fake plants. I don't use a whole lot of fake plants, but when I do, it's because the fish will either pull them up or eat them. So that's why these guys have fake plants. There are actually 10 fancy goldfish in here. 8 of them are about this size that you see here, and 2 of them are smaller. They usually hide in the back corner down here because they are afraid of the size of everybody else. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of goldfish in here. I do love my orandas. My wife loves her Moors. We do have one ranchu. We do have some, I am forgetting the name, Tamasaba, single tail fancy style goldfish. Those guys are super cool, super rare, so I was glad to get my hands on some of those. And there are 10 bristlenose plecos in here, as well as 2 weather loaches. Here's a little 10 gallon in my living room right next to my goldfish tank. This also has a pair of Apistogramma hongsloi in it. Let's see if I can get down and see the male right here. His colors are super cool. They show a lot of yellow and red. And the female is actually right there in the cave, so that gives me confidence that these guys may have spawned and she may be sitting on eggs. Alright, so across the room from the goldfish, we do have a 40 gallon breeder with my wife's other axolotl. This is Peekaboo. He's about 11 inches long, pushing 12. And he is super awesome. So he is alone currently in a 40 gallon breeder. And I do have a cooling system on this aquarium. I do have my custom built lid with fans built in to help cool the aquarium down, and it does work very well. I've used this setup throughout the summer, and it does keep the tank at 67 degrees, which is what I have it set to using a thermostatic controller. You can see it down there. That regulates what temperature I want the water to be and turns the fans on and off based on temperature. And then right there on that little suction cup is the sensor for temperature. So this thing works out pretty well, and it's a pretty nice setup. Alright, so we'll come out in the kitchen, and I do have my 6 10-gallon Betta rack. I do have a 3-part series on this video of how to build this rack. And like I said, it has all of my wife's bettas in it, so these tanks are planted up pretty nicely. This tank here did have some green hair algae start growing, but I kind of like the way it looks, and he likes playing in it, so I just kind of let it go. Doesn't bother me if it doesn't bother him. This guy's pretty cool. He has a pretty neat design. He's got those white and blue stripes in his tail. It's very cool. This is one of the only female bettas that we own. And she's a fiery little betta for sure. But all of these guys are super happy, super healthy, and really love living out here in the kitchen where they get lots of attention. Next to this rack, I do have a 65-gallon planted tank, which is brand new to the channel. Nobody has seen it until now, because I didn't want to show it until it was fully planted and growing in. So I guess we'll reveal it to you guys here. So I guess I could talk about it a little bit. We do have some eco-complete substrate with something special mixed in there. So I'm going to be doing a video on that, so make sure you guys hit that bell and get notified when I do post that video. We've got some driftwood, some big chunks of lava rock, which help with your biological. For plants, we do have some Bacopa Carolina, moneywort. We have a little bit of jungle val that's starting to finally grow back in. Anubias, flame sword, Crypt Tropica, we got a couple of those. Dwarf aquarium lily, Anacharis, don't know if I said that already. We have a couple Apontigeton, Crypt Wendeti green, Pogostemon stellatus octopus. As far as fish, we got some rainbows, guppies, zebra danios, neon tetras. We got 25 ember tetras in there, which you can see them kind of schooling together right here. They're a new addition. And we also have a pair of Apistogramma agassizii tefe, which I don't know if we're going to be able to see. Oh yeah, there's the male right there. And there's the female. Her tail is a little beat up because he has been chasing her like crazy, because these guys are spawning. But I'm excited to see what this tank looks like when it fully grows in. It's going to be pretty awesome. Alright, so this is the little 5.5 gallon on my work desk. And it looks like my daughter was back here drawing me some pictures. So this is a betta tank as well, and you lazy bum. He's just laying up there in the Java moss tree. You guys can kind of see the tree there. The reflection is killing me. But we got a tree with Java moss growing on it, as well as some hydrocodal Japan. And this dude loves life in here. Also, if you don't have one already, go get yourself a Traffish Aquatics mug. The link in the description. I'll show you guys the desk a little bit. And the last tank is my wife's Star Wars tank. So like I said before, she loves her more goldfish. So we got orange one, black one. Oh, he's hiding back there. We have a panda more. There he is. As well as a Ryukin and a red cap oranda. Panda cories. And one teeny tiny shoebumpkin goldfish that is currently living in here until we can upgrade him. But he is teeny tiny. He's only about 1.5 inches. Alright, so that was a pretty long video. I know it was pretty long-winded. 30 tanks, all different kinds of fish, all kinds of plants, all different setups. There's a lot to show and talk about, so I'm really glad that you guys stuck through the whole video and watched the whole thing. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot, and I know you guys wanted to see it, so hopefully you enjoyed. As always, thank you guys for watching Traffish Aquatics. Links, as always, in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.